This is my high school. These are the halls I have walked down countless times, though not usually with people balancing books on their heads. This is the lock I have used since my first day, August 19th, 2008. Who knows how many times I have spun those same numbers, 11, 25, 35, to get inside. I've had 4 very different lockers. Freshman year, number 498, just outside P. Wiss's room. Sophomore year, G005, with this awful sunken-in lock compartment thing. Junior year, 321, wonderfully easy to remember, with a nice access to a window and therefore a ledge, a rare benefit. And this year, number 12, just inside the Newstead doors. However, the inside has always looked pretty similar. Notebooks on the shelf, schedule posted on the inside door, books and binders on the locker stand, book bag underneath, and wonderfully quirky gifts from friends on the outside door. This is where I spent 98% of my free time, either reading or studying or playing on the computers or playing the in-your-pants game with Grace. The library has housed many a deliciously wasted hour. These are who I spent pretty much every morning with during high school. This is the staircase where I accidentally elbowed Kelsey's forehead, temporarily denting it freshman year, and also tripped up the following year, stubbing my toe so badly it bled. This is the French room where very little French was actually learned, where my friend Grace told me hilariously random stories, and grades seemed a little bit more dependent on how much Sister Judy liked you than how well you actually did. Also, we learned that pretty much every French movie is a weird movie. This is the office where 6 other girls and I were told that we would be leaders of the 24th Kairos retreat, and also where we schemed and planned and literally became sisters. This is the stage where every play I have helped with at high school was performed, though slightly less cluttered, where the soundboard and dimmer boxes lived, the house of the infamous Frankenstein switch. This is where I always set up the table for the light board to illuminate the performances and crack jokes with my fellow crew during practice and performance. This is the hatch where I did spots for 1 year, which I have marked, just as many before me have done. This is where, sophomore year, Grace and I convinced Kelsey to sign a contract binding her to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, extended version, back to back to back, immediately after our exams were over, in exchange for providing handmade Twizzler ice cream. The ice cream sounds like it would have been good, but it was actually really gross. But that didn't stop us from enjoying the movies. This is also when Kelsey and I learned that Grace pauses way too much and adds about 1/3 of the movie time to the actual amount of time it takes to watch it. This is the art room where pretty much all my favorite classes took place. It was just great. I love the art room. This is the computer I would always use to get on Tumblr because Mrs. Farron can't see what you're doing, which is also directly in front of what Mr. Caston has dubbed the TARDIS for fairly obvious reasons. This is where my freshman Lit Types class was held, which is ironically the only class I ever skipped, though that's a story for another day. This is one of my favorite teachers' classrooms, where she taught me not only algebra and personal finance, but also songs about pi and why Oprah is still relevant to real life. This is the computer I use nearly every French lab with Grace, which kind of meant not doing French. This was my first ever teacher of high school in freshman theology, where I sat roughly in this spot and first met girls in my class. I will miss daydreaming in French, watching the cars pass by this beautiful building across the street, but I have been so lucky. Not everyone gets to go to a school where you can get washable tattoos for free, where you can be as silly as you like and not be judged, at least not too badly. Where hot Jesus is a thing, where purple and gold pride is everywhere, where we waste legitimate time standing for a picture, and even though we as a Centennial class couldn't think of a better slogan than the overused seniors run this, I wouldn't trade our crazy class and priceless memories for anything.